Ooh, your face still lit up.
Hey everybody, welcome to Miscast Commentary. I am Joe Finley, and joining me via the Skype again is our dear friend Todd. I'm trying to remember it. Todd Tebow the Sailor Murray. Hey,
Yay! Our
Oh,
dear
my.
friend, like my own dear friend.
No, you've been my dear
You're
friend
talking
forever.
to somebody like you're talking to somebody that's like, hey, this is just a guest star on this podcast, like our dear friend.
Yeah.
You should have said our dear friend / co-host, Todd Tebow, maybe the Sailor Murray, because I might be fired, like always.
Jesus.
But whatever.
Yeah. No, this is me. This is me slowly trying to edge you out. I'm calling you our dear friend now, and then I'm gonna say,
oh yeah,
and then I'm gonna say recurring character.
Oh yeah.
And then
special not guest. Every episode, but recurring every now and then. Yeah.
And then special guest. Then I'm gonna start mispronouncing your name, and then this won't be a podcast anymore.
Oh my God! And I knew it.
I have it all planned out.
It's like a whole chart of time. Like it's like a graph. Yeah.
But don't feel bad. It's a really long game. Like it's like 13 years.
Oh, great. That sounds great. I should probably be dead by then. So
I was going to say one of us will definitely be dead. So yeah, you were teasing off camera that you've had a hell of a last little bit. So what's been going on?
Oh, yes. Press the button.
It's gone.
Tales from the near the sea. Sea.
I'll throw that in after. I don't have any of that even plugged in right now. Because you're not here. I don't have the main
Okay, so this little rant goes out to all the people that go to work and are just shit on. You know what I mean? Like you go to work and your boss, you know what I mean? Like you got to suck your boss's dick. Let's just do that. Yeah. You got to suck your boss's dick. You got to lick your boss's clit. You know what I mean? And it's just bullshit. And it's like, people that go to work and are scared because like this guy's the boss and, harassment, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so this is what we deal with at this frigging place. I'm standing on the car deck. It's a car boat where we bring cars on. It's a ferry boat. It goes back and forth. And there's the top four people in the company are completely ridiculous. They have no idea what they're doing. Like literally, I could give you a million stories they won't. I'll just tell you this one.
Yeah. And
so I'm on the car deck with only my associates, the other deckhands. There's no passengers. There's nobody. The boat is a shithole, and we're cleaning it to be ready to leave. So this is my second day there. And then I'm on the car deck, and suddenly this guy comes up to me, and he gets right in my face. And he's like, you were swearing. I heard you swearing. He's like, this is not the type of environment that you swear in a boat.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's why they say use good language like a sailor very often.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's exactly it. So he's in my face and he's like, how dare you swear? This is a professional environment. Then he's like, what's your name? And I'm like, Bobby. He's like, and then he's like, okay, what's your last name? And I said the last name, right? And the name of the person I'm saying is somebody that this guy worked with for like 7 months straight, and still his head is so far up his ass that he doesn't even know who this is because he is a god, right? Yeah. He's the chief of the chief engineers. So he's under, he's Blaster Master.
Oh, okay.
Like he's down there. Who rules Thunderdome? It ain't Blaster Master, motherfucker. But this guy gets into my face and he's like, what's your name? And I'm like, Bobby. And he's like, okay. And then he walks across the deck and he goes up a set of stairs. And then we start laughing at him because we're like, what the fuck was that? And then he literally leans over the railing. And I told you this. He's like, Jeffrey Tambor, Muppets from Space. He's like, are you laughing at me? He's like, don't you laugh at me. And he's like almost frothing at the mouth. And we're like, oh my God, what is happening? So then I automatically know, because of this company and the way that they act, that there's going to be an issue. Absolutely. And this guy finds me all over the place all day long. And he's in my face and he's like, And he's like, just, is your name Bobby? Yeah, blah, blah, you know what I mean? And then I'm in the wheelhouse where he has no jurisdiction at all. And my job is literally to sit in a chair at the front of the bridge and look out the window. That's it. I'm looking for nets. I'm looking for mermaids. I'm looking for krakens.
The meaning of life.
Yeah, the meaning of life. Yeah. Could I jump off and die? You know, things like this, you know, maybe me, you know, take me away, sweet Lord. And then this guy starts screaming at me in the wheelhouse. He's like, I'm downstairs on the car deck and you're not doing your job. And now I'm in the wheelhouse and you're not doing your job. He's like, this is unbelievable. And my captain is there. And so is the first mate. And the captain is like, you can't be up here yelling at my deckhand. This is my bridge. You know what I mean? She's like, this is nonsense. And then he storms off in a huff. Yeah, he storms off in a huff. And I'm like, this is what they're doing. I was like, he's going back to the company because they're all ego-driven maniacs. And he's going to make a big deal. And they're all like, no, he's not. They have better things to do. No, they do not. After he screams at me in the wheelhouse, my captain calls the company and is like, this is bullshit. And 9 days later, I get my walking papers. 5 day suspension for dishonest conduct because I didn't tell a strange man who's not my boss my proper name. And I was suspended for 5 days. And they had nobody replace me. They can't even run the boat properly because everybody quits. Because everybody that shows up there is like, this is a Mickey Mouse bullshit shit show operation, and I'm leaving. And they literally, I couldn't wait because I was like, they're not going to make, you know, I knew it. Well, I was like, they're going to make a big deal out of it. But I want to know the verbiage. Like, what did I do wrong?
That's a whole,
you know what I mean? What did I do wrong? What exactly did I do wrong? So this guy comes up to me. He's a boss. He's a little fucking bitch ass. And he's a boss. And he comes up to me and he's like, what'd you have for lunch? I'm like, grilled cheese. He's like, you liar. You had a sandwich with turkey. You're suspended. And the verbiage was that I was suspended for dishonest conduct.
Yeah.
Wow.
Good Lord.
Yeah. And this is what they do. It's a bunch of fucking morons who have no idea how to run a company, and they're so egotistical and ridiculous that like you can't even fight back. Like if you do anything, the moment he got into my face, I was like, it's done. I was like, there it is. Good God. Yeah. And this rant goes out to all the fucking people out there that are fucking being harassed by their bosses, and we don't have a leg to stand on. You know what I mean? I need this job. I got to feed my fucking kids. There's like 17 of them all over the world.
Yeah, I know.
I can't even get their names straight.
That's why you call them all Bobby.
Exactly.
This guy doesn't.
And this, you know what, and I fought the law on the law one. And you know what needs to happen? I need to start making jokes that make me money because I'm making jokes now and I'm losing money.
Yeah.
I need to be in the proper industry where, you know what I mean? It's like I go to my work. I don't make fun of anybody. I don't pick on anybody. I do my job harder than anybody else. Yeah. And it's just like, it doesn't matter. You just get shit on. Yeah. But I'm going to keep fighting the fight. Well, I'm Tebow the Sailor. No doubt. Yeah, because it's weird to be Tebow the Sailor and not be a sailor. Even though it happened on land. Exactly. But we were on a boat. Well, so it still counts? Yeah, it still counts. It's the Lonely Island song. They said I'm on a boat. Yeah. They never said I'm out at sea. They didn't say they were at sea. Yeah. Exactly, right? Yeah. So I've been suspended again because I'm a super badass and I don't take any shit from anybody because I punched my boss in the face. And
his name was Bobby. Anyways, right. So if there's any
Bobby.
Better...
Every time they think of you, they're going to think of me. Bobby.
If there's any better time to say, hey, go to our YouTube channel and subscribe and stuff like that. Let's monetize this bitch so Todd can, live.
I need to say something right now, and I want you to put this on the thing.
It's already in.
I'm not going to say the number. I'm not going to say anything. But everybody out there in miscast commentary land, call Owen Sound Transportation Company. Don't say my name. Don't say anything, but just fucking bitch at them. Call the number and be like, Paul, you're a son of a bitch. Fuck you. Blah, blah, blah. Don't mention my name. Just call them bitch to them. Bitch to all of them. say like management sucks, fuck you, blah blah blah.
If you have a hard time calling somebody bitch, just like do there's those YouTube mashups of Aaron Paul saying bitch on Breaking Bad.
Bitch, bitch.
There's a lot of that.
And then throwing a Carl, bitch, Carl.
Actually, my favorite one I came across, somebody showed to me. They did a mashup of every time that Donald Trump has said billions. And so it's just him going billions and billions and billions and for like a half hour. And it's like
a loop, yeah.
Yeah, but it's not just him as president, it's him like going all the way back to the
all
80s,
the time. Every time he said billions, yeah.
Billions and billions I'm like, man, the person, like that's definitely somebody who
How many women have you harassed? Billions and billions and billions and billions.
How many people did you kill?
That's why okay, so Bill Gates and let's move on from my drama life. But everybody seriously call that company. I'm not going to put the number up or whatever. I never told you to do this. But call and harass them. You know, like when they do with like the tax man, like how Scientology did with the tax man, just fucking call 1 million times. Yeah. Just leave 1 million messages. Anyway, so Bill Gates and whatever Gates, his old lady, they're breaking up. Melinda. And the reason they're breaking up is because he was seen at Jeffrey Epstein parties. Mm-hmm. She said that the moment she saw a picture of him, she was like, it's over.
I know. It's crazy, too, because it's like Jeffrey Epstein is one of those guys because obviously, you know, what he did is a huge deal. But he was also just a rich dude who like had rich dude friends. So it's very hard to know, like, who knew what?
No, they were all scumbags.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I don't get, too, is it's like, Bill Gates is a bajillionaire. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? These guys are busy. Why do you have to go to Jeffrey Epstein's party to find a chick? Like, you got more money than God. You can find a girl. Like, dear God. Like, but you go to a buddy's party and get a picture taken and you're like, Jesus Christ. Like,
yeah. And that's the thing, too, because it's like everybody, like anybody who's come out, like any rich dude who came out and said anybody who associated with Jeffrey Epstein is a monster was immediately followed up with a picture of him and Jeffrey Epstein. And for some reason, Jared.
Yeah, but he is, though.
No, he is.
Anytime I see anybody with Jeffrey Epstein, I'm like, oh, wow, you're a fucking scumbag.
Yeah. So it's
like, dear God.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. It's interesting. But I think that he's so bloody rich that it's going to like, it's not even going to matter.
No, it's not going to matter at all. But I think that is what I read was the reason of their breakup. Mm-hmm. Which I didn't know at first, and then I was like, "Whoa, there you go." What's funny too is that all the Trumpers, like Trump's in like every party.
Yeah,
that was the thing. If you look at like Jeffrey Epstein's like party photo book, it's like Trump's in every party, but all the Trump supporters are like whatever.
Well, and this was my thing too because I saw some like super mega girl who's verified on Twitter, and she's sitting there. She's like,
"What does that even mean?"
It's just when you're like you have enough viewers, you're a person of note. But you, she's like, huh, interesting. What was Bill Gates doing at Jeffrey Epstein's party? And I was like, best case scenario, not much, just attending a party. Worst case scenario, exactly what Trump did.
Yeah, exactly.
So
like a bazillion times. Yeah.
Well, and what's worse is there are pictures of him with like 11-year-old Ivanka on his lap next to.
Yes. Oh yeah, I remember seeing this thing. Oh yeah.
Ugh.
Well, no, but I mean, like you would have your daughter in your lap, but I've seen the pictures. It's like creepy as shit. It's like Hulk Hogan in the pool staring at his daughter making out with her boyfriend. It's just like, ooh, like.
Yeah, but what kind of party was that? Where it's like you're at a Jeffrey Epstein
the party. No, the party is an underage girl party. That's what it is.
Yeah,
there's a bunch of underage girls there, human trafficking bullshit, and they're all there, and it's like a Playboy party, but like. Not cool.
Yeah, but the thing
that's
is,
what Jeffrey Epstein parties are.
Yeah, I was gonna say, does he not have a Christmas party though?
Like probably the Christmas cards are deadly.
Because that's what I'm saying. I'm like, is it not a chat? Like I know none of the background of his whole deal.
I don't know the whole background too, but I know that he's a fucking scumbag and they totally murdered him in prison.
Oh no, him.
listen,
him, I'm not worried about. But like when I hear about,
you're talking about Bill Gates.
Yeah. What? But anybody, because like if like, and even I'll add Trump to this list because I don't know anything for sure. You can make assumptions.
I know, but come on.
No, absolutely, and that's what I'm saying. And
it's
that's
like you're going to be like, I was at the Eyes Wide Shut party, didn't see a thing, didn't do anything. I just hung out. And then you see me
I couldn't see it.
Yeah, like then you see me at every one of them. Like, come on.
No, and absolutely.
I could see maybe like I showed up to a party and I was like, whoa, this is fucked. Like, I'm getting the hell out of here.
Yeah.
But I mean, you're at the party every time.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And it's like, but it's that thing too of like all these people's photos show up and it's like, I don't know what party they were at. Like, I feel like they're not taking pictures, like the publications aren't taking pictures at underage girl parties.
No, so these are just because they're not allowed to be there. It's not like the paparazzi's there in their big long line. Like, hey, who's this underage girl Epstein? He's like, a picture of from Canada. She's 15, like, blah, 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 like.
Exactly. But that's my thing. It's kind of like you see these pictures of the guys with Epstein and like, okay, so it's at some kind of socialite rich dude party.
Oh, I see what you mean. Like it might not necessarily be one of his dirty parties. Yeah. He might have been at another party. You take a picture with him.
Yeah. And then it's just like now, but now you've created a connection, but now what is the connection? Because like somebody like Trump was real friends with Epstein. You're like, no,
totally. Yes.
Like, whereas like other people, you're like, I don't know anything. And like, this is the first I'm hearing about them ever being in a room together. So, but that doesn't mean anything because I'm so uneducated on the whole subject.
Right. But I don't know who it was, but a lady got totally in trouble because she took a picture with Donald Trump. And she got into everybody's like, how dare you from what he said? And I was like, you know what, come on. Like if I was out there in the world and Trump was there and like wanted to take I mean, fuck yeah, I'll take a picture with him. I hate his guts. But like, you know, what am I going to do? Punch him in the face, not take the picture? Like, come on. This could be like, dude, like I took a picture with Trump. Like what an idiot. You know what I mean?
That would
like,
be a very,
yeah, like fuck. But they're roasting her now. Like she's being roasted just for taking the picture, you know?
Same.
I hear where you're coming from. Right. Yeah.
I just,
like I'm at a Comic-Con. I met Jeffrey Epstein, took a picture with him. Now everybody's like, oh, fuck, like,
although I do judge that Comic-Con for hiring Jeffrey Epstein to be one of the meet and greet people. That seems weird.
But only for the kids.
Mm-hmm. Photo op with me and Ghislaine at the same time.
14 and under photo op with Jeffrey Epstein.
Fuck. Man, oh man.
Have you watched anything? What have you seen?
No.
The Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yeah, you finished Falcon and Winter Soldier. I don't think we've spoken about it since the finale.
You didn't finish it.
Oh, I finished it. Yeah.
Oh, okay, good. Oh my God.
I finished it then.
I was so awesomely proud of that episode.
So good, eh?
And okay, here's the thing. You know, whatever, take it the wrong way or whatever. We're living in an age now where everything's being flipped on its head and blah, blah, blah. And Superman's going to be black and this and that. But in the comic books, he became Captain America. Mm-hmm. And it's the true story. And I don't give a shit. Make Superman black. I don't give a fuck. But what I'm saying is that this is the true to the comics story. Yeah. I'm not talking all the way. Of course, they take liberties. But man, that moment where he was like, he gets the shield and he's like rocking and he like the missile or something or the helicopter was coming down and he puts his wings across and he puts the shield up and the helicopter hits and he goes flying and I was like, boom. Yeah. But then he's up in the air flying and I was like, technically he can do more than Captain America can. Yeah. Right. He can fly. He can do all these things. He's got Bucky as a sidekick, but then he was like, oh, there's the Black Falcon, and Buddy was like, no, it's Captain America. I know. And I was crying. I was like, oh my God, like it was good. It was really good. It was so good. I'm so happy as Sam as Captain America. I'm like, oh fuck yeah.
It was done so well, and it was like you said, it's done in a way that doesn't feel like, now granted, just assume that you didn't see the comics. And so your first thought might be just going, oh, okay, they're just, doing that thing. But it didn't feel like that when it was happening. It's just like,
it wasn't at all. I agree.
And they explained so well too why he's the obvious choice for the role. He's like, you deserve it because you don't want it.
And I like seeing Buddy, the other evil Captain America, also kind of help out. Mm-hmm. And he's kind of now like on the fringe. Oh, honestly, if I was the evil Captain America, I would have beaten the shit out of that guy as well.
Oh, of
Fuck
course.
those guys. I would have smashed every one of their fucking heads in with that goddamn shield, but that's why I'm not Captain America. Also, I'm Canadian.
That's also a problem. But then they give you the teaser. Julia Louis-Dreyfus just showing up towards the last couple episodes. Like, how badass was
Once
that?
I saw her, I was like, oh my God, there she is. She's going to have a much bigger role, I guarantee you. There's no way that they... Yeah, because at the end, then he comes in, the old Captain America, well, the new whatever.
Yeah. I gotcha.
Buddy there, Gunn's son. Yes. Is it Gunn's son?
No, it's
he's Kurt coming Russell's in, and he's like, Kurt Russell, yeah. And he's like, it's black, but it's whatever, and then she's like, yeah, we're gonna work on it, or whatever. And I was like, there's gonna be more with her.
Well, because they confirmed that he's U.S. agent. He's like with her.
Right. He's an official, which I find all weird. That's the only thing I found weird about the whole thing was like, how are they all agents? They can just go do whatever they want to. They need no paperwork
but this is the thing is I don't think that she works for the government.
No, she doesn't.
So exactly. So he's U.S. agent, but he doesn't work for the government. He works for her.
Right. Okay. Right. Okay. I gotcha. Yes. She's Hydra.
Yeah, probably. And then you got confirmation.
Hydra.
Yeah, and then you get confirmation that Emily Van Camp was the power broker, which we assumed.
Yes, I knew it right away, man. It was like she's totally the power broker.
But such a cool way of bringing that in too is like these, my whole country fucked me over, and now I'm about to do it. Now she gets to do it from the inside. Like there's so much going on. But my favorite part was the fact because I was really afraid that this was going to get relegated to. This is going to be like a miniseries TV series, and then that's all we're ever going to see is Sam as Captain America.
Right.
And
no, he's Captain America now.
No, and then they announced, I think the day of the finale, that there was going to be that they were developing the Captain America movie for Phase 4.
Fuck yeah.
So I was just like,
I can't wait. I was just talking about this, man. I was like, in the next one, they need to do Hulk right. Like whoever it is, whether it's going to be Buddy through the dimensions there. What's his name? He's got like the purple helmet. He wears green. Now, what the hell is it? Whatever. Call the Conqueror or whatever.
Yeah. Okay.
If it's going to be him, whoever it's going to be, in the end, Professor Hulk, the Hulk needs to rip out and just kick the shit out of this guy.
Yeah. Rumors are abound.
They need, and this guy needs to be, this guy might even be more powerful than Thanos, right? And then Hulk comes out and just wallops him because he's tired now. He's like, he's so pissed. He's been held back. He's like, fuck this.
I'm hoping, because rumor has it that they're working on sorting out a solo movie for the Hulk finally.
Oh my God, it would be amazing.
Because
they got to get the rights though, because isn't Fox has it or somebody?
Universal has the Hulk, I think.
Yeah, Sony, well, they all need to know now from Sony, give everything back to Marvel. You can't do it right. You're not doing anything. Give it to them. Give it back.
Well, just make a decent deal. Like Sony made a really good deal, and they're like think about like the previous the Spider-Man, like just like the Amazing Spider-Man chunk, the Andrew Garfield chunk. It didn't do much of anything. It ties into nothing, obviously, and it's like now you have this that like people are going to go see your movie because of the previous Marvel movies, so you already have a built-in lead-in to your movie that you're going to get money for, and like it's like, to me, there's nothing but money to be made, so I don't understand why anybody would be hesitant, including Universal, to do that.
Well, yeah, I agree. This is, reminds me of the whole like what's happening in wrestling. Where, like Kenny Omega's like a triple champion in 3 different companies.
Oh Jesus!
And I hear it's like the idea is like money to be. I don't dig it. I don't dig him being 3 champions. He's not good enough. Fuck Kenny Omega.
Well, speaking of that too, we were talking about. Actually, I'm going to get to that in a second because we were talking about one other thing. I sent you that video of the Marvel.
Of the Fantastic Four.
Just the Marvel thing in general, but yeah, that shows up at the very end, very quickly, like less than a second. When you watch the video, it's just a, and it could be an Avengers A. Like you can't really tell it so fast, but somebody.
Oh, it's a Fantastic Four.
Yeah, somebody screenshotted it, so you're gonna get. I don't know where, but you're going to get the next. Or like that iteration sometime during this phase. But you know what killed me? Like, did you see the timeline? How quickly these movies are coming out? So you got 3 movies coming out this year. Black Widow, Spider-Man, and something else. I can't remember.
Shang-Chi.
Oh, Shang-Chi. Yeah, which I'm looking forward to.
Dude, did you see the preview?
It looks amazing.
It looks killer.
It looks really good.
I agree. I think it looks totally fucking awesome. I'm still waiting. Like Black Widow. I've been waiting for Black Widow, James Bond for like my entire life.
I feels like
can we just see these goddamn movies? Like, holy fuck. A Quiet Place 2 is like I've been waiting forever.
Yeah. So oh man, it's everything that got held back is gonna come pouring out. It's like a clog.
I know there's gonna be it's gonna be a big old clog.
But
dude, Army of the Dead is 2.5 hours long.
Okay, I can't wait to see the Snyder Cut. That's 6 hours long.
Yes. 2.5 hours long. I'm like, dear God, like
I know.
I'm gonna watch it because it's Netflix.
It looks
free. Well, not for free because I pay for it, but
yeah, exactly. It's already.
How can you not watch it? It's on Netflix. I'm gonna watch it. I'm not watching Justice League. No fucking way. Oh, and in the preview for the movie, it says the director of 300, Man of Steel, and Dawn of the Dead.
I don't even think
so. It doesn't even say the Snyder Cut of Justice League.
Yeah.
So even he won't put that on the fucking thing.
Well, because it's polarizing, right? It's like you instantly, like the people who were going to go see you anyways are going to go, but then some people who are like so against all this stuff, they'd just be like, and Justice League, and you're like, it lost me, I'm out.
Oh yeah, lost everybody. Even the people that fought for it were like, what was it? Yeah. Although, I mean, what do you mean, what was they doing? It wasn't like they really fought. It was like people at a computer clicking something, like the worst work anybody's ever had to do.
Well, being petulant until you get what you want is...
Oh, yeah. Work. I like that.
But
I watched Space Sweepers.
What the fuck is that?
It's on Netflix. Okay. It's a really, really good movie, dude.
Oh, really?
Yep. It's about... I wanted to tell you, it's literally... It's like... The Fifth Element meets, like the Fifth Element meets something. I can't really say, but it's really good. And there's a robot character in the movie that is totally like if you watch this movie and then you tell me that this character is not a trans character,
okay?
Because the whole movie, it's a robot, and it has a male voice. So the whole time you're like, this is a dude.
Yeah.
And then they find this kid, and the robot is putting makeup on the kid, and the robot's like, you know what I've always wanted? I need like 50,000 space bucks to get skin put on my body.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm a woman.
Oh, really?
Right? Because it's just the skeleton of a robot. And you're thinking the whole time it's a man, but then he's like, I'm a woman.
Oh.
And then in the end, he becomes a woman. And I think this movie is like the best way to explain like trans to people who don't get it or are struggling or whatever.
Yeah.
I think it's a really, really good interpretation. I think people should watch it because in the end of the movie, it's like, wow, yeah, like, it's whatever. He doesn't even have skin, like it's really, really good. You should watch it. It's a really good movie. It's sci-fi. It's good. It's a feel-good movie. It's got a nice ending.
Cool.
Mixed cast, which I dig.
Yeah.
It feels like a Sergio Leone movie where it's like everybody's talking a different language, but the dubbing is in English.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
You're getting Asian people, white people. Buddy was in The Hobbit. The main bad guy was in The Hobbit.
Okay.
Thulin. I want to say Thulin.
That sounds more like a Fast and Furious character.
Oh my God, yeah.
I'm Thulin.
I'm your brother.
What else do we got? I'm just like combing through some news right now. Dave Bautista signed on for Knives Out 2.
Yes, he did. Dave Bautista is doing better than The Rock. Big time. I know The Rock is making much more money, but The Rock funds his own movies. He makes his own movies. Bautista gets hired like an actor.
Yeah. People
come to him, they're like, you want to be in my movie? He's like, yeah.
Yeah. I think that, The Rock definitely has his hands in a lot more pots.
Pies.
Yeah, pies is, that's the more accurate thing of what I was trying to say. So Yeah, but like it's
Not like
but
there
yeah,
should be a comparison or anything, but whatever.
no, I hear you for sure. But yeah, he's doing a really good job. He also announced, I guess he said, I don't know again if this is just a negotiation ploy or whatever, but he said he won't play Drax beyond part 3.
Why
But
not?
well, this is my thing. Why not number 1? Number 2, not a real. You can't really use that as a negotiation ploy for anything Marvel, because the Marvel things, like, think of any Marvel entity and think of somebody who's irreplaceable. Like you go to the Avengers. Every single Avenger, no matter how big they were, have been replaced at one point or another because they either
And they have to be.
yeah. And so it's like you think of God, I can't remember. There was a number of how many different characters were Avengers, but like X-Men are Avengers and like all
Oh,
these
it's
different
huge.
things.
It's just like looking at like the Justice League Unlimited. You're like, holy fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Over the years, they gain members, they lose members. Some come in, some come out. It's like the X-Men. You know what I mean?
And then yeah, so there's all that kind of thing. But I'm like that you in this cinematic universe, the way it's built and just the way that Marvel's built in general, you can't sit there and say now. I'm not even accusing him of doing this, but I'm just saying if it's the way it's going, you can't sit there and say you need me. If you wanted Guardians of the Galaxy to continue, you need Drax. No, you fucking don't. You just move on to the next guy who was in Guardians of the Galaxy. Yeah. There's all sorts of guys. You'll bring up some kind of weirdo, and you're like, oh, this guy's weird. I don't know. Josh Gad's going to play this guy. Now he's in.
Josh Gad is going to be Drax. I like that.
Well, not Drax.
But he's probably only saying this because he knows the rumors, and Gunn is not confirmed for 4.
Yeah.
That's probably why he's saying. He's probably good if Gunn's not involved. Like he stuck up for Gunn before when he was fired, and he was like, I'm not going to be Drax if Gunn isn't involved, and blah, blah.
Yeah, which is nice. I mean, good, way to be loyal. But but it's not going to last forever. You don't work with the same director your whole life.
Well, exactly. Like Indiana Jones is going to be James Mangold.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing what that might be.
I am too. I think he's going to do great. It's the same company. Yeah. Spielberg's going to have his fingers all over it.
Of course.
He was just like, you're taking too long. I got to do something.
Yep.
He's a busy man. He's a driven man.
Yeah.
He's the man that made the box office. You can't fucking tell that man to stop when he wants to go.
You damn right, baby. What else was I hearing? I guess there was not controversy, but just a lot of comment about Disney Plus started moving Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. to like what's called like the Marvel Legacy, like not part of the MCU and stuff like that. And people were like, what's going on? What's going on? But I guess the plan is, the rumor anyways, is that the plan is that the S.H.I.E.L.D. is going, or the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., all the same actors playing the same characters, it's going to get kind of a soft reboot into the MCU, because what happens at the end of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is they literally leave the timeline. They're in a completely different like time and stuff like that. So because they wanted to get away from having to always be beholden to what's going on in the MCU. So now they need to go back. So now they're doing, like I said, like I don't even know what a soft reboot really means. I think they're just reintroducing them into the MCU.
Yeah, it's probably like a soft reboot is like the new Suicide Squad.
Yeah, that's fair.
You know a bunch of the characters, it's just kind of we're redoing it,
Yeah, you get the idea. We're just putting a new attitude on it.
Yeah, like we're new whatever, doing this or whatever, right? I would really love to see a big budget Daredevil movie. Oh my God, like I loved that show. I fucking loved it.
Yeah,
Wilson Fisk was killer.
Oh God, yeah.
I really liked it. I thought that the Bullseye was a little bit bullshit in the last one. Like he could have been a lot more established, way more, from the first action scenes they had in the first season. Like,
Yeah. Well, see, that's the thing, and I think, because they treated everything so Origins, even for the bad guys and stuff like that, I think that's something you really lost out on with both Daredevil and Punisher, where like those two guys have arguably some of the most screwed up bad guys.
And tons of them.
And I mean, as far as just human beings, like, yeah, there's crazy aliens and all these other whatevers, but as like most of these guys are just dudes who are nuts.
Yeah, they take care of like the human threats.
Yeah,
they're not aliens. They're not. Yeah, they're the local crime fighters.
More like Batman bad guys, who it's just a bunch of psychopaths, right?
Yeah, Bane, Croc.
Yeah.
Clayface.
Yeah, well, those guys were a little bit of a stretch, but I'm talking like Joker.
Especially Clayface, huh?
But yeah. So a lot of cool stuff going on with that stuff, and then I texted you over the week about on Saturday a bunch of WWE has some partnership with
Oh,
AandE.
there's all types of shit happening on AandE.
Mhm. So they've had a bunch of biographies and stuff. I watched the Macho Man Randy Savage biography, which was fucked.
What do you mean? Why?
Oh well, it was talking about his relationship with Elizabeth and how he was really like when she wasn't on tour with him, had to stay in the house, was not allowed to go see people, was not allowed, like he was like that kind of dude with her. And then
Yeah, they said he was really jealous.
when he when they were breaking up, they were on the verge of breaking up. That's when they had their wedding, like for SummerSlam and
Oh
stuff
my
like that.
god.
So now she's like, I'm literally now have to have this relationship in front of like 100 million people when I was just about to get out, kind of thing. Now I'm like on stage with him every day, and it was like this nightmare. Then there was the bits about, like, they were talking about as he was getting older when he went to WCW. The main reason he went to WCW is because WWE made him an announcer, and
Right.
and literally they didn't he didn't tell anybody that he quit. He just showed up on WCW one night, which I was like, how can that even be a thing? Contracts and whatnot. But like
Yeah,
literally,
like
like they were telling the story, and the one guy telling the story, I can't remember. I think it was Bruce Pritchard was telling the story, and he's sitting there, and Vince was walking everywhere, and he's like, "Where's Macho Man? Where's Randy? I gotta get him. We gotta talk about like the today and stuff." And then nobody could find him, and he just they were like, "Oh, he no showed us." So Vince went to go do the commentary by himself, and then somebody came out and whispered to him and let him know that Macho Man just made his first appearance on WCW.
I don't know the hell. Like
Yeah, like, and it
maybe
was
I want to see these really badly, but they'll be on again. There's no way AandE just replays everything like ad nauseum. So
So
I actually have AandE too. So
oh, nice. But
the
so they
one
had
channel I have.
there you go. And so they had that, and then they had another show that I thought was really interesting, just because I've been following a lot of shows very similar to it. And it's
The
called
Hidden Gem one.
yeah, it was called Wrestling's Most Wanted Treasures. So
Yeah.
the basic idea is they're trying to build a like WWE Hall of Fame museum. Like eventually, it's not that a date on it or anything, but they're trying to amass everything that they want to have in it now. So they had some guys. One guy's apparently like a wrestler, but is also like part of this like field archive team. And then there's another archivist, and then Triple H is kind of like the guy behind it, and they send them off with other wrestlers to go find, like, oh, we're gonna find like your first whatever. So the first episode I
Funny
saw,
that they find it too, right?
oh,
Like, whoa,
oh
what a
well the
non
bottom
setup.
well the bottom line is they probably went and found it well before they ever
Of
sent it.
course.
Yeah, but they so the first one is they sent Jerry Lawler. Or they went with Jerry Lawler, and they wanted to buy his original.
Find his ex-wife's corpse.
That's the one.
Which one? Who's?
But oh, wow. But well, this really underplays or overplays what I was about to say. His original cape
Crown.
and crown from when he made his first appearance, when he like went after Brett, when Brett won King of the Ring, which that crown was also Jerry Lawler's crown. He brought it with him.
Oh, no way!
So they already had that crown. So it was the
and
first.
It was Jerry Lawler. So the King of the Ring crown was Jerry Lawler's crown.
Yeah.
And no way.
And then his first appearance was at the King of the Ring, saying, "No, I'm the true king," and blah blah blah. And they did that thing, and so they wanted to get that, and he was really hesitant. He had it already, like it was in his possession, and he was really hesitant to sell. The other thing they went and found though was Andy Kaufman's neck brace from when
oh,
they did
no
that.
way.
So they went and they hunted that down. They found the guy who had it. They also found
it's the real neck brace.
It's the one, yeah. And it was really interesting, the stuff though, because there was all kinds of, like, there was they came across a pair of his boots that he used while when he wrestled Jerry Lawler.
Andy Kaufman.
Yeah, when Jerry Lawler, yeah, they were Jerry Lawler's boots when he wrestled there, Andy Kaufman,
right?
And he didn't want to get rid of them, so they're like, okay, I'm going to put you on with somebody who might be able to convince you. So he puts the guy on the phone with Triple H, and he's like, what if we make it some kind of deal? He's like, because it seems like it's not a value thing that's stopping you, it's just like a sentimental thing. He's like, what if we get Jerry Lawler to like draw you like one of his like one of a kind photos or something like that. Like that's like,
He's a good artist.
and yeah, exactly. Well, he had a piece of art that he did before he became a wrestler. So
Right.
like it was like that kind of stuff, and so he
Oh, the
agreed to that.
buddy had
Mhm.
that same dude had a piece of art
Yeah.
from Jerry Lawler,
And then the
and he
next
did it deal or
Huh?
what?
What he they made the deal, yeah. And then I didn't
I'm
see
sure he
anybody
talks to
sitting there.
Triple H. Triple H, like the guy's there, he'll draw you something.
It's so funny because he's sitting there like he's the Godfather. He's like, crossed arms. He's like, "We're gonna make a deal." His big bushy gray beard, but he's literally sitting in a warehouse on a couch in front of a TV. It's kind of like my dream, but it's just like all memorabilia all around him. He's just like, "Eh."
Right.
But it's like how
He's gonna
Scrooge.
make it mint.
Yeah,
So
like
they're gonna have like a Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, only it's the wrestlers shit.
yeah, which I wonder where they're gonna put that, because it's like logic might suggest Connecticut because that's where their headquarters
That's
is.
exactly where I was just gonna say.
But like, who's gonna go to
New
Connecticut
York.
just for that?
New York.
New York, you could do, or
New York.
Florida. The only other place I could think was Florida because that's a big.
Which is where they're doing all their shit now, yeah.
So I was like, that could be a thing because it's right near there, but I have no idea. The other one that they played though, which I thought would have been a little more interesting for you, was they went with the Undertaker, and they went with him to Tennessee to go see Kane, and they were looking for stuff from both of them. So it was cool just watching them go.
Did they find his bone mask?
I'll tell the whole story, but yeah. So first they were looking through Kane's stuff, and something I didn't know: Kane's first match against a WWE wrestler was Undertaker when he was still the Dead Man, like in purple and stuff like that, years before. He was in Smoky Mountain. Kane was wrestling at a Smoky Mountain, and they had some kind of cross promo deal with the Undertaker because they were like using it as kind of a farm league kind of deal, right? So he was wrestling as the Unabomb was his name, and he was like in all red, very similar, but it was like leather straps. Kane. And
Yeah.
so he had all these like red straps, and then he had like a Jason mask that was all red, and he had these big red greaves on and stuff like that. And he wrestled like the super old school Undertaker. And I was like, oh, that's really cool. Like it was a long time before.
So wait, Undertaker must have been in WWE by then.
Yeah, so this was part of the cross promo thing that they were doing, that they would bring like at some of their Smoky Mountain shows, they would send a WWE guy to be like a big draw.
Right, to just whoa, like yeah.
So they had this big match, and it was his first match with anybody from the WWE, and then like Undertaker went to the guys and like, you got to get this dude. You got to bring him up. And so they found that costume like in his attic. It was just like in one of those bins, and he's just like, oh, here it is, mask and all that. So they got that from him. Kane gave all the money that they paid him, because like they're not donating anything, it's being bought off them. And and so he donated all the money to some. We don't own this anymore.
We're buying it off you. It's going into the
yeah. So yeah, they got that, and then they found one of Kane's old masks, and they thought it might have been like the first mask he ever wore, but it was like the second mask or whatever. Because they figured,
bummer.
No, they still got it off them. They were happy to have it, but like they were literally, you should have seen, like they were zooming in on like the chin strap, and they're like, no, you see, the original one has black stitching, and this one has red stitching, and it's like they're like, so yeah, it wasn't. So it was, but it was cool.
Yeah, it's like when people praise things on like one of those shows. It's just like little tiny differences. You know what I mean? Like,
and then on the other side, so then Undertaker ends up leaving, and he goes back to Texas. They send him on a little mission. And then they go back to Texas with him, and they found the urn. I guess it's one of the only one-of-a-kind urns they have. They have all kinds of urns from different, like, incarnations of The Undertaker, like, different time periods. But there's one called the Betrayal Urn, which was the one when Paul Bearer turned his back on...
ooh, that's the best urn.
Yeah. And
when he turned on The Undertaker and he hit him with it. Was it versus Kane?
No, Mankind.
Oh, it was versus Mankind.
Yeah. And so they tracked it down because they couldn't find it anywhere. They knew that Paul Bearer didn't have it when he died. That's all they do. And so they went everywhere. And then it just so happened, Undertaker thought of something. He ended up reaching out. It was at a mortuary museum. The Paul Bearer donated it to this guy that he knew because he was still a licensed mortuary, like a mortuary guy when he was in wrestling.
He actually was. Yeah.
He was a legit dude. And so somebody reached out to him. I guess his name and address and stuff was on the roll call of like this community or whatever. And somebody reached out to him and asked if they had something that they could put in there as like this, like Undertaker and Paul Bearer reference. And so he sent him that urn. So they ended up making some deal. They gave the guy a boatload of money. They gave him another urn that was like the final design of the urn that they like used. They had a bunch, like it wasn't a one of a kind, but it was still like a ring used.
Oh, so they didn't even just buy it off, and they even gave him like a replacement, like.
Mm-hmm. And they gave him something else.
Oh my God! So I wonder if it had like a bump in it from hitting the Undertaker.
Who knows?
Screwing him over.
But it meant so much to them to get that one. It was like a big deal. And then they had.
That's a cool moment. I dig that item actually too. Totally.
Yeah. And then they went, the end of the episode was Undertaker and Michelle McCool in their storage locker. Like, just like an old, like, Storage Wars. They're just digging through, going, what do we have here? And he literally, the guy who was with him opened up the bag and pulled out the mask, the bone mask. And so they started talking, and he told the story that Mabel broke his orbital bone. And he said in the x-ray, you can see that his optic nerve is sitting on top of a jagged bone. So he's like, had I taken another hit during that fight, I could have lost my eye.
Oh.
And so he's like, luckily I didn't. And then he's like, so they gave me this thing. It wasn't a hard mask either. I thought it was like one of those like wreck masks, like Horace Grant or somebody.
Right, yeah, exactly. That's what I thought too.
It was just a really padded mask.
Just in case he takes a hit, it's not,
Yeah, but it was one of a kind.
That's cool.
They didn't have spares.
That was a question too about back in the day. Was that really the Undertaker? When he was wearing that mask, everybody was like, "Oh, it's the fake Undertaker." Blah blah.
Well, because they had already played
Undertaker fucked off for a couple years, and then this was not really him, and all that.
I love that stuff. And then he also found, again in a bin, because what the fuck, the original purple suit. So he had the purple tie, and he puts it on. And so he's standing there in like a storage room, like parking lot, wearing the original Undertaker costume.
Wearing the original suit.
It's and there's tons. Apparently there's a bunch of episodes of that. It was really interesting though.
I wish I could have gotten his autograph at that Comic-Con. That would have been super cool.
Yeah.
Because then it's like, you can't even see him. He's like all enshrouded, like you have to step into the thing, and there he is.
I've never seen that. That was the craziest thing I've ever seen, because like nobody has had that so far.
Oh yeah, it was $200.
It was very expensive, but
200 buckaroos. Oh dude, there's a new. I'm always going on WWEshop.com and looking at their wrestling belts because I love them, and there's a brand new Mankind championship.
Oh, nice.
Like like one they just made, but it's the title that I've been looking at forever, only made into like Mankind, and it's super killer looking.
Oh, really? Cool.
That's awesome. So I'm like, oh man, that's the one. I'm like, there it is.
Yeah, they've gotten a lot better with that stuff.
It's the Attitude Era belt, but made to his,
Yeah.
Like there's straps going across, and when you flip it around, it looks like the belt's wearing his mask, and it's all brown, and it's fucking awesome looking.
That's apparently one of the episodes too, is him in search of his original mask and stuff like that.
Oh no way! It probably reeks. I'd sniff
it, and then you die.
Sniff it.
Okay, we've got a movie that we're doing next week.
What?
Can you believe it? I know we talked about, that's probably the longest we've ever talked about wrestling on this show.
I like it.
But there we go. I still want to do that thing. I want to do some kind of stretch. Again, maybe like an offshoot or whatever, but where we just go through all the WrestleManias, or like, I wanted to do one originally that was like the big four. So it was like Royal Rumble, SummerSlam, Survivor Series, WrestleMania from like every year. But maybe some other time. That's
Backlash coming up this Sunday. Braun Strowman versus Drew McIntyre versus Bobby Lashley.
Nice.
Behemoth slugging it out.
I thought that you were saying Backlash should be a part of our like essential pay-per-views.
Oh no, I'm just saying it's coming up on Sunday. It's gonna be killer.
Should it be called
I hope
Backlash?
Bobby Lashley wins. Drew McIntyre's got lots of time. He's a young buck.
All right, sorry. Who Lashley?
What?
Who Lashley?
Bobby Lashley.
Bobby. That's all. I was just baiting.
2 new Weezer albums. Van Weezer, check it out. Totally awesome.
Nice. So Todd's in Weezer now. That's part of the other thing.
I love Weezer. I always have loved Weezer. Oh my god.
Nice.
What else came out there?
I don't know.
Resident Evil Village.
Oh yeah.
It's supposed to be good. Don't know. I haven't played it. Gonna get a PS5 when one falls off the truck.
That's how my son winks, by the way. His whole head goes with his wink, except he's
like
except
not subtle. Not subtle.
No, he can only do it with his left eye. He goes like, and he does it over and over.
It's almost like a tick, really. It's like a tick.
What it's like is the closing of his eye is pulling a nerve that's making
that sends his head. Yeah.
So it's like if he blinks when he's driving, he'll just like go right off a bridge. so here's hoping. Here's hoping he doesn't do that.
Here's hoping.
Yeah. All right. So anyways, we're doing a wonderfully violent movie for our next week's movie. Lots of shooting.
Oh, that movie, yes.
Yeah, no, you're thinking about what we did last week. It's not.
No, I'm thinking about what we're going to do.
Yeah, what we're going to do as well. Yeah, see, that's the other thing is we get ahead of ourselves with the movies. So we like connecting this moment mentally to what the movie we're about to do never seems to make sense to us. Because it's always something.
No, it doesn't. I don't know.
I always throw you off because I'm like, oh, this one's a lark. It's a nice coming of age film. And you're like, it's Cannibal Holocaust.
What? Like, what? I guess it counts, yeah.
Mm-hmm. But we are watching one of the classics of 50-year-old men beating people to death on camera. We're watching John Wick. Let us listen to the trailer.
I'm up. You like that, huh?
Nice ride.
Thanks.
How much?
Excuse me?
How much for the car?
She's not for sale.
Ik geef good day, sir.
Daisy. I lost everything. That dog was a final gift from my dying wife.
Jonathan, you got out once. You dip so much as a pinky back into this pond, you may find something reaching out to pull you back in.
It's personal.
Where'd you get that car? What does it matter?
It's not what you did, son. It's who you did it to.
Nobody?
That nobody is John Wick.
You working again?
No, just sorting some stuff out.
Task your crew.
How many?
As many as you have.
Hey, John. I thought I'd let myself in.
People keep asking if I'm back. Yeah, I'm thinking I'm back.
I'm not afraid of John Wick.
Uh-huh. How good's your laundry?
No one's that good.
I thought not.
And there we have it. John friggin' Wick. I'm looking forward to it, man. What a fun movie.
Like the Wick, baby.
Oh, good Lord. So I think that's it for this episode, don't you?
I do.
I think we covered way more ground than I thought we were going to cover.
I think we did as well.
I knew we would talk for this long. I just didn't know it would be about.
Oh, we always do. We always do. See the Venom preview, the new Venom Carnage preview?
I haven't seen the preview yet.
Yeah, it looks like shit, whatever.
Yeah. I saw a thing, somebody said, they were like, this new preview, does it prove that this isn't part of the MCU? I'm like, I thought that them saying it wasn't was proof.
Yeah. And it didn't even say, like, even in the beginning, they were like, it's part. It was like, it was a different intro.
Yeah.
I can't remember exactly what it said, but it was like, this is Marvel, but it wasn't like, this is the Marvel universe. I can't exactly remember. Yeah. I might be lying.
It's like getting like an off-brand shirt, like a not properly licensed shirt. It's like the Samsons.
Like outside the concert.
Yeah, you got
exactly. You're like, so this one's only $5. Right on.
It's right next to that guy who just paints those pictures of like Jimi Hendrix and Jim Morrison.
Oh yeah, and they're already laid out as if he did them. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Let's see you do one live there, bud. Yeah.
This is not print to work, even though
That's hilarious because there always is like drawings of Tupac and
it's always the same
exactly.
drawing.
All Motorhead and it's the same goddamn thing.
That's why the only art I've ever like bought from a vendor like that, I watched him do like 3 of them before I bought. It was a Nightmare Before Christmas. Yeah, no, it was a Nightmare Before Christmas painting that like it's all spray paint, and he like puts like a paint lid down and he sprays around it, and then that's the moon, and then he does this thing and he's spraying like all these textures, and it comes out so gorgeous. And I have to buy this thing, so I bought it for Abby, and it's still up on her wall.
Cool.
Awesome. So that's it for this week. As always, go to miscastcommentary.com. Email us, podcast@miscastcommentary.com. Find us on Twitter @miscastpodcast. I'm at miscastjoe. Todd's at miscasttodd. Just type miscast and then something, and then you should get one of us. Instagram @miscastcommentary.
Anything?
Anything.
Like miscast and then like it doesn't have to be miscast something. It could be miscast anything.
Yes, I'm trying to get all of the miscasts taken. So then it's like, so as we build our X-Men team, we can just fill in slots. Which, when you're this handsome, you're filling slots constantly.
You goddamn right, baby. The slots fill in themselves.
That's what happens when I come walking around. Everyone's like, no, seal it up.
I better get back in my slot.
Sad. All right, guys. So until next week, we love you. We don't dislike you at the very least.
I'm indifferent.
All right, guys. See you.
Unless it's Grafau. I love you, girl. Love you, girl.
We miss you. None of them ever reached out and claimed their name. So maybe they're dead.
There's still time.
Yeah, there's still time. Awesome. All right. We'll see you guys next week.